Welcome back to the deep dive. Today, we're plunging into something really critical, but often kind of hidden in IT infrastructure, service
Yeah,
accounts.
the hidden workhorses, you could call
Yeah,
them.
exactly. They keep so much running behind the scenes. We've got some great source material here from Delinea,
Mm.
looking at their secret server system.
Mhm.
And it really guides us through how these accounts are managed or, should be managed and secured.
Right.
So our mission today, let's unpack these different types of service accounts and figure out why getting their management right is just, well, absolutely essential for security, obviously, but also just keeping things running smoothly.
And it really is a huge challenge. It's fascinating just how pervasive these accounts are. They're everywhere,
Yeah.
from your standard servers in the data center right through to all the cloud stuff people are using now.
Uh-huh.
And if you neglect them, that's not just a small oversight. It's potentially a massive vulnerability, like
Yeah.
leaving a back door wide open. So yeah, this material helps understand just how big this challenge is, and importantly, what the solutions look like.
Okay, so let's get practical. I want you, our listener, to just picture for a second all those automated things humming away in the background of any company.
All the services, the
Right.
tasks.
Service accounts are basically the ID cards those processes use to do their jobs. So, okay, let's unpack this. What actually happens when these accounts, these hidden IDs, just slip through the cracks?
Yeah.
What's the real world fallout from letting these credentials go unmanaged?
Well, if you connect it to the bigger picture, it almost always leads to operational downtime. Things just stop working.
Hmm.
And huge security risks, obviously. It's often something seemingly simple, like a password expiring on some automated service.
Then boom.
And then boom, exactly. It can cause this cascade of failures. The material really highlights how systems like Secret Server try to fix that, bring some order, some control to these critical but often unseen identities.
Okay, let's start with maybe the most common one, the foundation. Windows service accounts. Seems like every org has these, right?
Absolutely. They're everywhere in a Windows environment.
So what are the usual tripwires here, and how does something like Secret Server actually, change the game beyond just rotating a password?
Well, the real insight, I think, is how these seemingly small issues, like that expired password we mentioned, can blow up into major outages, especially if the dependencies aren't managed.
Dependencies, okay.
Exactly. So Secret Server, automating the password rotation and updating anything that relies on that account, that's not just security. It's like a proactive shield against those nasty surprise outages.
The ones that cost real money.
The ones that cost real money and lost productivity, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And it does this using a few key things. Discovery, first finding all these accounts you might not even know about.
Uh-huh.
Then there's remote password changing, or RPC. Basically, it changes the password across the network automatically.
Oh.
And heartbeat. That's clever. It checks afterwards to make sure the account is still working, that the service didn't just fall over because of the change.
That makes sense. Preventing the fix from causing another problem.
Precisely.
Okay, I can see the value there. So if that's handling individual Windows machines, how does this scale up? What about the heart of the network, Active Directory? Managing AD domain accounts seems like a bigger beast.
Oh, it is. And it's absolutely critical because, let's face it, compromised domain accounts are gold for attackers trying to move around inside a network.
Right, lateral movement.
Exactly. So here it's all about deep integration with Active Directory. Secret Server manages these domain-level service accounts by rotating their passwords, yes, but also enforcing least privilege.
How does it do that integration part?
It uses what they call EAD integration. That's the tight link to Active Directory, plus the password rotation, of course, and role-based access control, RBAC.
Or BAC, okay.
Yeah, making sure accounts only have the permissions they absolutely need, nothing more. The value. It's not just ticking a compliance box. It's genuinely making your Active Directory harder to crack.
So shrinking the attack surface.
You got it. Shrinking the digital footprint attackers can use within your most critical directory services.
Okay, so we've gone from the machine up to the domain.
Ah.
Let's zoom back down to the individual machine again. Local Windows accounts. I imagine these get forgotten a lot.
Oh, totally. They're often neglected, and they can become these sort of silent backdoors.
Yeah.
So Secret Server tackles that specific blind spot. It finds them on the local machines using Discovery, rotates their passwords using RPC, and then provides auditing. That audit trail is crucial, knowing who or what changed an account and when.
Why is that so important for local ones?
Because management is often decentralized, right? Different teams might manage different servers. Without central oversight and auditing, it's easy for risks to creep in.
Yeah.
Securing these local accounts stops unauthorized access on machines that might otherwise just be overlooked.
Makes sense. Now, moving beyond Windows, lots of places run mixed environments, Linux, Unix. How does this approach work for Unix, Linux service accounts?
Yeah.
Management there feels, I don't know, different.
That's a great question. The OS changes, sure, but the risk of unmanaged accounts, that stays the same.
Right.
So for Unix and Linux systems, Secret Server usually manages accounts over SSH. It rotates passwords, secures access to those boxes where key services might be running.
Okay, SSH. So what features are key there?
Well, you've got SSH key management controlling the keys themselves, not just passwords. That's huge. Then RPC, again, for password updates. And session monitoring. This is interesting. It lets you actually see what's happening during a session using that account.
Like recording the session.
Essentially, yeah, or at least
right.
logging the commands. It really strengthens security in those mixed environments, tackles vulnerabilities through the automated credential stuff, and adds that monitoring layer. Pretty powerful against insider threats or if an account gets compromised.
Okay, databases. Access there feels like, the highest stakes. That's often where the really sensitive data lives.
Absolutely. The crown jewels, as they say.
Yeah.
Protecting data in databases is like top priority for most businesses, and those service accounts are prime targets.
So what's the strategy?
Secret Server connects right into the database systems. It automates rotating the credentials, sure, but also helps restrict access.
How does it do that restricting part?
It uses things like database templates, pre-built settings for common databases, makes setup quicker, RPC for the credential changes, and then there's a proxy feature.
Proxy, what does that do?
That proxy is key. It basically acts as a controlled gateway. Instead of giving direct access, it provides temporary, just-in-time access and full session control.
So you know exactly who or what touched the data and when.
Exactly. It's a huge step in preventing a potentially catastrophic data breach.
Let's shift gears. Web applications. Often the public face of a company, right? And uptime there is everything. How does Secret Server help with application pool accounts, say, in ISA, to stop them causing unexpected outages?
Yeah, you nailed it with uptime. That's critical. For ISA app pools, Secret Server focuses on rotating the credentials and making sure the ISA configuration gets updated correctly so the website doesn't just break.
Right, because just changing the password isn't enough.
Not at all. It uses dependency management, knowing what app pool relies on which account, RPC for the change, and that heartbeat feature, again, to verify the site is still up and running after the update.
So it keeps the business-critical web services online.
Precisely. Automating those updates without causing downtime. It's like that constant health check, ensuring things just keep working.
Okay, now, the cloud. Everyone's moving there, or already there. The complexity just seems to explode. Here's where it gets really interesting. How does this extend to the cloud? How do you manage service accounts in these really dynamic environments?
Yeah, this is where it gets interesting and, frankly, critical, because the cloud gives you scalability, amazing flexibility, but it also creates this massive, constantly shifting attack surface.
And mistakes happen easily.
Oh, yeah. Misconfigurations, especially around identity and access management, IAM, cloud service accounts, they are the #1 cause of cloud breaches. It's staggering.
Wow. So how does Secret Server tackle that?
It integrates directly with the cloud provider's APIs. Think AWS IAM, Azure AD, Google Cloud IAM.
Okay.
It uses those APIs to manage and rotate credentials for cloud services. Key features here are cloud discovery, finding those cloud identities as they spin up.
Because they appear and disappear so fast.
Exactly. Then API integration for that smooth communication with the cloud platforms. And secret vaulting, securely storing and delivering those cloud credentials when needed, maybe to applications or scripts.
So the insight here is,
The insight is that just lifting and shifting to the cloud doesn't magically make you secure. You absolutely need a strategy for managing these cloud identities, almost like they're an extension of your internal AD.
Right.
This lets businesses grow securely in the cloud, keeps things compliant, and avoids those common, costly misconfiguration errors.
it really sounds like a whole new layer of complexity to manage. Okay, what about something maybe less glamorous but still running everywhere? Scheduled task accounts. The things that run batch jobs, scripts.
Yeah, the unsung heroes, operating silently until they don't.
Right. What are the hidden dangers there?
Well, they're often overlooked, but vital. Lots of critical processes run as scheduled tasks. If that account's password expires or gets compromised, the task just stops, silently.
Leading to those weird problems nobody can figure out.
Exactly, those silent points of failure. So Secret Server finds accounts tied to Windows Task Scheduler, rotates their passwords, and crucially, updates the task definition itself so it keeps working.
How does it manage that update?
Again, dependency management is key. RPC for the change. And sometimes event triggers can be used to automate things further. It's all about keeping that automation reliable and secure, making sure tasks run without interruption, credentials stay safe.
Okay. And the network itself, the routers, the switches,
Yeah.
securing the backbone seems pretty fundamental. How are network device accounts handled?
Absolutely fundamental. Network gear is often the first line of defense. If those credentials are weak, default, or never changed, it's like leaving the front door unlocked.
Yeah, bad news.
Very bad news. So Secret Server manages credentials for routers, switches, firewalls, usually over SSH or maybe older telnet connections, rotates passwords, secures access.
What features help there?
Network discovery is important for finding all those devices on the network, RPC for the password changes, and session recording is often used here too.
Like with Unix, Linux. See what happens.
Exactly. Getting an audit trail of who logged into that core router and what commands they ran. The direct benefit is protecting network integrity, keeping things up and running, stopping unauthorized access that could just take down connectivity for everyone.
Okay, let's pivot again. The world of DevOps. Super fast-paced, speed is everything. But security can't be an afterthought. How do you secure DevOps service accounts without slowing things down?
That's the million-dollar question in DevOps, right? Balancing speed and security. For accounts used in CI/CD pipelines, automation tools, infrastructure as code, Secret Server focuses on vaulting the credentials securely and allowing secure automated access, usually via APIs.
So developers don't hard-code secrets.
Exactly, that's the goal. It uses API access, letting tools pull the secrets they need securely at runtime, secret vaulting for the centralized encrypted storage, and rotation policies to make sure those secrets change regularly.
And the value is faster, safer DevOps.
Precisely. It helps accelerate secure DevOps workflows, protects credentials in those fast environments, reduces security bottlenecks, lets teams move fast without cutting corners on security, no more secrets checked into Git.
Always a plus.
Yeah.
Okay, last category, reality check. Every company has something weird. Custom apps, legacy systems, stuff that doesn't fit neatly into those other boxes. How flexible is this? What about custom service accounts?
That's where the flexibility really has to come in, doesn't it? Because you're right, there's always something unique.
Always.
So Secret Server allows for tailored management for these unique applications or scripts. You can define how to rotate credentials, how to update dependencies using custom scripts or templates.
So you can build your own integration, essentially.
Pretty much. The features here are custom templates, letting you define how Secret Server interacts with that unique system. Scripting support PowerShell, SSH scripts to automate the specific steps needed. And dependency management still applies.
So it's adaptable.
Hugely adaptable. It gives businesses that flexibility for their unique needs, ensuring security even for proprietary or legacy systems that wouldn't fit a standard mold. Basically, no system gets left behind in this security strategy.
Okay. Wow. We've covered a lot of ground. So let's try and bring this all together. What does this really mean for you, the listener? It seems pretty clear that managing service accounts isn't just, one thing. It's this comprehensive view across everything.
Yeah.
From the server room, the individual machines, the network gear, databases, web apps, all the way out to the cloud, DevOps pipelines. Recognizing these hidden workhorses as really critical security assets.
Absolutely. And if we connect this back to the bigger picture, it's really about transforming what is often a chaotic, definitely risky area into something that's well-managed, buttoned down, and secure.
Right.
The whole theme running through this is proactive risk mitigation. It's about ensuring business continuity, preventing those outages, and fundamentally strengthening the organization's overall security posture. By centralizing and automating the management of these critical, often invisible credentials right across the entire IT landscape, it's basically turning what used to be vulnerabilities into points of control and visibility.
That makes a lot of sense. Well, thank you for joining us on this deep dive into service accounts. It's clearly a topic that underpins so much more than we might initially think.
It really does. And this raises an important question, I think, for all of us to ponder.
Oh, yeah.
As our digital world just gets more and more automated, more interconnected, are we truly understanding and are we really securing all the identities that silently power it all? Maybe take a moment to consider those often invisible layers of security that underpin, well, pretty much all of our everyday digital interactions.